Hashem El Shah, Hashem Kadash. The bonds to the apostles at great millstone. Salute to you, brothers, teaching the word in sincerity and in truth, right? I RFID update. It says Starmer lays out vision for much criticised digital ID scheme. Yeah, it says Prime Minister says that eye identification would never be needed to access hotels, hospitals, among fears over civil liberties. Now, remember, these devils say one thing and then they say one thing and they do another. There's just countless examples of that with all these governments here. You know what I'm saying? Even with Labour Conservative, all they said, well, when they get in, they're going to do this, and they didn't do this. That's just how they get down. We know that, people know that, so people have woke up to this stuff here. But she said you ain't gonna be able to work with it, so people are thinking, well, how am I going? If I need hospital, but they're gonna make it where you're gonna need this to operate. Because if you can't work, yeah, and they're making cuts, but if you can't work, how are you gonna get paid? How you gonna eat? All right. So Starmer has set out his vision for digital IDs as he fights to win back public support for this scheme, and he keeps having to do that. There's videos where he comes and reiterates points like, "Look, man, I'm saying this because there's been criticism, but at the end of the day, they're pushing this. There's other places where things are getting pushed right now." So it's all a plan, and it's all going to be executed because it's going to lead to the RFID mark of the beast. So the Prime Minister's plan for digital IDs was met with criticism when it was announced last month and was described as a symptom of his reverse Midas touch. Concerns have been raised over civil liberties and cybersecurity, but Starmer insisted that the identification system would never be needed to get into hospitals, as fears about its potential impact on accessing public services and data protection. So Starmer insisted that the identification system would never be needed to get into hospitals. Alright, so but people still don't want it. He told staff at Bark, but they're gonna take it because you ain't gonna have a choice. He said you ain't gonna be able to work. So you think they're gonna want to work? He told staff at Barclays branch in Brighton on Thursday that digital ID would really help with security for customers after they told him they dealt with victims of scams and fraud every day. And check this, obviously it's being people once they get this, they're going for that your rights and your privacy is completely gone. That your privacy and shit. So the thing to do would be to say, well, let's not accept this, because if we accept this, once you get it in, then it just balls that starts rolling from there. You know what I mean? What are they gonna do next? So that's how it works. So that's the mindset, right? Like, we can't accept this, because if we accept this, we're just giving them over. But the thing is that it's an agenda. It's a major agenda. The final stage is the final state of the Illuminati. It's really just the final state to get everybody chipped. That's how they finalize control over everybody. All right. He also told the BBC, "You'll never need ID to get into a hospital or anything." Wait, let's see what he said here. He said customers at the bank had told him they were really excited about it and had replayed every day examples where you can just cut the faff. He went to the bank. He went to Barclays Bank. He also told the BBC, "You'll never need ID to get into a hospital or anything like that. And for people who simply don't want it, well, they don't need it. apart from the right to work, because we do need it to stop people working. Read that again. You'll never need ID to get into a hospital or anything like that. For people who simply don't want it, well, they don't need it, apart from right to work, because we do need to stop people working illegally in our country. So you don't mind them coming illegally as long as they don't work. That don't make no sense. That don't make no sense. That doesn't make no sense. So if an illegal immigrant, they can come here as long as they don't work. But if they don't, so if they come here illegally and they're not working, how is that stopping the boats? Because they can just come and get benefits. And you see how this doesn't make no sense? This doesn't make no sense. This doesn't make no fucking sense. This just doesn't make no fucking sense. He said it won't be the case that digital ID could end up being used for surveillance. It's but his words are drawn swords. The scriptures talks about them with that. They're acting like they're coming in peace, but they're really demons. Coming like they're lambs. The idea of having ID on your phone is not far removed from having bank accounts on your phone and any other apps that people have on their phones, he said. In a video posted to X, Thomas said the Barclays customer had spoken to were really up for it, and I think once you understand just how easy it will make life, so many more people will too. He probably would have got sacked if he spoke out against it. But like, I look at zombies as well. People are just gonna accept it anyway, man. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna see what's gonna go down. More than 2.9 million people have signed a petition against the measures, and net support for digital IDs fell from 35% in the early summer to minus 14% at Starmer's announcement in September, according to the polling. Let me do this. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet with a drawn sword. You can't believe a word of what these individuals are saying. Did you hear some of this shit, man? Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom.